There are last-minute efforts afoot by the local Heritage Society to save the brick facade on Water Street in Kelowna that's been held up by scaffolding for the past 4 years. But if they're to succeed, they've got some convincing to do at City Hall. We spoke to the mayor. Tom Dias says that after 4 years, with safety concerns arising and questions raised by engineers about the stability of the wall itself, he's convinced it is time for the wall to come down.
The last one we did give a development permit on, and that development permit was to advance, but for some reason, Mark Anthony's group has decided not to proceed with that development. They had an engineer look at the wall as the way that it stands right now, and there was concerns with regards to its stability and it being safe. We've had situations, I know, with the crane last year where we had somebody climb the crane, and then also the crane sitting there. The scaffolding structure and also the crane have been set up now for 4 years, and it cannot continue to stay there without something actually happening. And at this point in time, Mark Anthony Group has no plans to look at advancing a build. So what they are doing is, my understanding is, what they are doing is they are removing the facade, the outside of the building at this time, and looking at storing it and repurposing it in whatever way they can when they look at advancing on a project sometime into the future.
Okay, hang on. So it's not being knocked down, you're saying it's, what will physically happen with what's your understanding what will physically happen with that brick facade?
My understanding is if there will be the opportunity to look at using some of that facade into a future reconstruction, and if the strength of the brick is able to do it, then they will look at doing that.
One thing that was mentioned to me, because I spoke with people from the Heritage Society, is that as we arrived at this decision to take the wall down and give up that piece of Kelowna heritage, they weren't consulted. Shouldn't they have been?
It's not, this is one of the many properties that are in Kelowna that are on a designation, but it's not a heritage protected site, and there is a difference in between the two. And I believe what the developer was looking at doing is they brought the engineers in to see from a safety and stability standpoint of the wall and the structure itself, and recognize that there was a concern there. So they made the choice to look at considering repurposing the as much as they can as the brick into the future, and for safety reasons, and also from a standpoint as there's no plans to advance anything at this point in time, to clean up the site.
Right. So you feel okay with it coming down?
I know that site has been on a main street within the city of Kelowna for a number of years. There's been scaffolding. There's been also, maybe safety concerns last year when somebody climbed the crane. We don't want to put, the city in a position where that is happening, and we need to clean that up. We would have been grateful if they would have advanced the project. That's why council approved that project. It just wasn't right timing for them.
We don't just report the news. We live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. Kelowna Now, local, independent. News you can trust.